Hi guys, and on to the next video. So if you watched my last video, it was the back end is now complete, so we've got a full running driving back wheel, which is pretty cool. So the drive shaft's been replaced. So booted the bike up, let the bike run outside. I'll put a video in a minute to show you that. But as you can see, the bike really started to smoke. I couldn't work out if it was just the fact that it hadn't been run for a while, whether it didn't have any oil, but the smoke looked reasonably clean. But there was some sort of smoke or something coming from almost like above the engine, where the engine was. So I've double checked to see if there's any oil leaks or anything like that. I found maybe a small oil leak, but what I think was happening was the fan wasn't running. So where the bike was getting quite hot, I think that the fan on the back of the radiator wasn't running. So I don't know whether that is the actual fault. It could just be the steam coming off of the radiator as the water was getting hot. But I've decided to take the whole front end off. So this is where we're at. So I've taken the forks off. So the forks, basically there was a screw here, a screw here, and then one here and one here. So the headlights come off, all the indicators come off, and then the forks came off reasonably easy. So front wheel came off too, which kind of put me in a place where I could get to the radiator. So the radiator was just underneath here, and it just hooked on this place here. The fan then goes in this place here. Drain all of the coolant out. It was really rusty. I've just thrown it down the drain, but it was really not good coolant. So I've basically drained that, taken the radiator off, and this is what I found. So the radiator here on the back of it has a mounting, it's sort of like a mounting bracket built fan, and the fan's on it, so it locates in the top here and the back here. This wasn't turning, so even if the bike was getting up to temperature, what I did was I tested it. So I put 12 volts through here, to this connection here, to try and get the fan to run. The fan wouldn't run, it was dead. So my concern is the bike was getting really hot, and the fan wasn't cooling the radiator down like it should be. So as I said, I've drained this. I'll probably put some stuff in here, water in here, or put a hose through here just to try and clean that out a little bit. But the issue is now the fan. So the fan is about £75. I've decided to try and make my own fan, which will go on the back. So in theory the connections is still going to be the same. It's still so again, trying to learn these things myself. What I think happens is that there's a tube here with a like a thermostat on it. So when the water comes through here, or the coolant passing through the bike comes through here and gets really hot, it will tell the relay to switch the fan on, and that's when the fan will come on. So I do think it will make a difference and keep the bike running cool. So my plan is to bought an aftermarket fan, so exactly the same size, but the plan is to take this one off. This is taking some real elbow grease, I guess, to get these off. But once I've got those off, my plan is to lay this on a bit of cardboard, take the stencil, or the stencil part of the of where the location screws go on the radiator. Then once I've done that, I'll be able to get the new fan, put it on the inside sort of this layout, mark where the new holes are for the fan, and then cut round that from the cardboard. And then my aim is to put it on a bit of sheet metal. So just a very thin bit of sheet metal that I'll be able to cut out with a jigsaw. The plate will actually go on here, then the fan will strap to the plate that's on here, and then this should be okay. All of the pipes were getting hot, or I could feel that they were getting warm or getting hot. so I know that the fluid was being pumped around. So I think it's just this fan to try and get the fan running. I did actually have it on the bike, and I tried the whole jumping of the relay, the temp relay. So there's I think it was an A315 or something. You can jumper those to get the fan running and boot on its own. That didn't work either. So I do think the fan is broken. So my aim is to replace that fan, put a new fan on it, put the radiator back on, get it back in the bike. So the bike obviously needs a little bit of clean up, but it gives me a chance to then adjust the forks. So what's happened with what was happening with the forks? So the forks obviously go through here, and then once the forks come down here, the wheel goes onto the forks. The caliper will go on. It's got then a kind of like an extra hose that goes across between the two calipers, but it gives me a chance to reseat the forks. So the last person that owned the bike had the forks coming out of the frame quite a bit. I don't want that. I want it to sit flush, so it gives me a chance to push those back down, and then also just these raising bits here. So on here you'll get these two bits here that raise the handlebars up a bit further. So I've just kind of started to spray them black a little bit. So that'll be another thing to do, is just make sure they look good. But then once that's done, then in theory all of the mechanical stuff for the bike will be complete, or there and thereabouts. So it will be the electrics to be done. So I've got the diagram, which is a bit of a minefield, to be honest, but I think I've understood the back end of the bike and where the electrics go on the back end for the rear indicator, running light, and then the brake light. So I think I understand that okay. It's just a bit at the front and trying to figure out where they go. So you've got the left hand indicator, right hand indicator, and then you've got the headlight, which I think the headlight's okay. It's just more the indicators to make sure they work okay. And I've got myself some more indicators. So I've gone for kind of an LED style indicator. So nice and bright to go on the bike there, and then just some new fixings to put it on the fork. So I'm going to start spraying those bits now, and then really I can't do much else other than try and get this bolt for the fan off, get the fan off ready for the new fan to be here on in a couple of days. So I'll add a time lapse and I'll see you shortly. So just got the fan off. Was a little impatient, so I decided to drill it out instead. So the fan is now off, away from the radiator. The radiator isn't actually in great shape, quite a bit of rust in places, but got the fan off. So now I'm going to start to make a sort of a template ready for the metal frame that it's going to sit on. So just going to do that now. Hi guys, so it's another day, and the fan has arrived ready for the radiator. So I'm just going to give you a quick update on where we're at. So we now have a full back end. So exhaust is on, back wheel is on, and I've also done some work with the indicators, which I'll show you now. So the indicators arrived, was having a few issues. In previous videos I showed the buzzing noise coming from the relay. I've basically sorted that issue out now, and I'll add a link to the video that I used to make the change to add the LED lights to the bike. So we've now got running indicators. So the front one there, and then we've got the back one over there, and then we've also got the right turn as well. So nice bright indicators, and then right one at the back. So pretty cool. As I said, I'll add a link to the video that I used to get those working. I was a bit reluctant to do it, but I decided to take the leap and put the new indicators on. Not only I did obviously rewire the whole all of the indicators again, so checking that I had the correct earth points and had the correct positive points on each of the indicators. So I did double check that. Pretty simple to do. I basically just got the continuity on the meter, the test on the meter, plugged one of the connections into the frame of the bike, which I knew was a solid, was actually to the negative of the battery, and then I buzzed out each connection on the existing cables that would supply the indicator to check that I had the right ground or earth connection. And once I knew that I had that ground, then I kind of knew that the other side would have been some sort of supply. So that's kind of where I'm at with the indicators. So again, another little job that I've ticked off. But back to the radiator. So the radiator is still missing on the bike. I'll show you that now. So we're still in this position here where the radiator is missing. I've given it a bit of a clean. It looks a little bit better. I don't know if I'm going to get it perfect, but we've got it to a place where now the fan is off the back of the radiator, which is good. It just means now we've got to try and bridge or try and make some sort of mounting bracket ready for the new one to go on. So let me just show you how I did that. So I took the existing fan off and I got just a random bit of cardboard. I laid the fan on there, drew around it, and it gave me the template of the external part of this fan. And then what I did was I had the new fan which arrived, so I can add a link to this as well. It was just from eBay, just a 12 volt 8-inch fan. It's actually reasonably heavy, but you can see that it spins and it's actually thinner. So I just double checked that would fit in this position here, which it seems to fit okay in that position there. And then all I did was I took my template, and again this is all theory, put it onto my base. Again, I drew around that, which gives me hopefully a good template to make up them for the battery. So I've been to Werx. I've got a piece of sheet metal, so not a really thick bit. I don't think it needs to be that. I think it just needs to be something that's gonna hold it. I may be wrong, but the plan is to lay this. So on here, lay this down like this. Draw out my template onto this, and then cut this bit of sheet metal ready for this then to mount onto the back of the radiator there, which will then hopefully give me a base for the new fan to go on the radiator. Then I've got to figure out the wiring, but I'm going to add a time lapse now, and I'll see you in a sec. It's another day, and we're back on the radiator fan. So I finally finished the jig, and for the new fan to go on, and I've started to put it together. So this is what I've come up with. So it's not perfect, so I didn't want to show you exactly what the jig looked like after I'd finished, but we got the job done. So back of the radiator, metal jig here. Took me a while to cut it. I ended up using a grinding wheel to try and cut it. I couldn't get it perfect, but as you can see, it's going to bolt on the back here like this, and then with the fan bolted to it as well. And then I'm just going to probably put a washer or something on the back of there, and then maybe one on the front to really secure it in the front. But I don't actually think it looks too bad. I don't know if it fits on the bike yet, but not bad. So again, just followed the outline or template of the fan that was on there, took it off, drew around it, drew around the new fan, holes in the template or the jig, put it onto the back of the radiator cover, and I'm just going to Loctite some of the nuts now, just so that they're nice and tight. And aim is to try and get it on a bike now, so I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So guys, finished the fan upgrade. The fan is now on, it's in place, the radiator's back on. So I'm just going to show you just exactly how I can test that now. So I will show you the radiator. So this is it back on the bike. Obviously I haven't plugged anything in yet, but it's all back on the bike. And I'm just going to try and show you how you can test it. So in the relay box, it's this position here, and then all you're going to do is you're just going to jumper the position. So let me try and show you just what that looks like and what it sounds like. So with the ignition on, I'm just going to use just a piece of normal electrical wire, and I'm just going to jump the position. So I'm going to try and show you how to do that now. So you put one end on, I think it's A2, and then one end on 15. It sparks a little bit, but you can hear the fan going. It's quite loud. I don't know if you can pick that up. I'll try and show you on my hang on a minute. I think you can hear that, but the airflow you're getting from it is quite strong. I actually can feel the breeze coming off of the fan when I put my hand near it. So I think it's going to improve it, and obviously the engine's going to be on too. So it may be that it could be that the fan itself is just it's potentially touching one of the walls of the radiator a little bit, which is the clicky noise. Personally, I'm not too concerned about that if the bike's nice and cool. As I said, the engine will be running anyway, and that's quite loud with the exhaust anyway. So if the radiator, it does overheat or it does get hot and the radiator kicks in, I'm okay with it being a little bit louder. But actually, I wasn't okay with this. So when I hit stop on the camera, I went and took the radiator back off and found that one of the washers was causing it to vibrate. So now it doesn't run with a knocking sound. I'm going to wrap that video up now. So any questions you've got or any links you want to the bits and pieces that I bought, let us know, and I'll see you on the next one.